Alright, against the odds time, playing some 5-color Nexus Control in Modern. And we're going to try this. We might get just run over. Leyline of Sanctity, we don't care too much about that. Temple, oh boy. We do care about Ad Nauseam, which I think is what we're up against. And not sure about this matchup, especially before boarding. Especially with a Leyline out. Wooded Foothills, go. More Scrylands. And Serum Visions. Well, crack Wooded Foothills. Get a green-white. Let's go green-white. Oh, this mana. And we have our single Ghost Quarter, which not ideal with Maelstrom Nexus. Kolaghan's Command can kill an artifact. Well, play Polluted Delta. I think we gotta get Steam Vents with Polluted Delta. Kolaghan's Command isn't horrible. Sleight of Hand, Serum Visions. Well, crack this. Well, I guess that means we get Blood Crypt. Play the Swamp, pass the turn. Well, we're kinda close to Maelstrom Nexus. I don't think any of this saves us. Opponent, misses their land drop. Well, that's good news. Let's Hallowed Fountain, tapped. I mean, we might just play Maelstrom Nexus? Oh, huh? Oh. Okay, now we might just be literally dead. Angel's Grace, yeah, looks like we're dead. Ad Nauseam, that kills us. Huh. Well, Word of Invention, pretty sweet for our opponent there. We get Stony Silence. We gotta keep our discard in. It's our best bet to make this work. We gotta go down Creature Removal. Go up, maybe Maelstrom Pulse, Abrupt Decay, Ancient Grudge. Gotta go down our Wraths. Can go up Fulminator Mage. Maybe something like that. Come on, no Leyline. So let's see. Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Get a Watery Grave. Untapped. And just suspend Ancestral Visions. Pass the turn. Fulminator Mage is okay-ish. Opponent has Lotus Bloom suspended. Well, maybe we end up regretting not Thought Seizing turn 1. Opponent passes. Ancestral taken down. We get to Thought Seize. Ad Nauseam. Maniac. Sleight of Hand. Spoils of the Vault. I guess we take Ad Nauseam. Play Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Lotus Bloom taken down. Temple of Enlightenment. And a cantrip. Well, crack Windswept Teeth. Get a Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Opponent passes. Ancestral still taken down. Couple more turns to go. Well, play a Swamp. Play Fulminator Mage. Destroy a land. Pass the turn. Lotus Bloom. Taken down. Opponent has a Plains. Serum Visions. Leaves 1 on top. Opponent passes. One more turn for Ancestral. Well, we need to Snapcaster Mage. Flashback Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize our opponent. See if we can break up their combo. Oh, goodness. Well, I think our best bet, take spoils, hope they don't find a way to find Ad Nauseam. Here comes Lotus Bloom. Phyrexian Unlife. Well, crack Polluted Delta. Red, I think we get Hallowed Fountain. And then we're 1 color away from Maelstrom Nexus. And we get our Ancestral. So Ancestral comes down. Whew, that's Stony Silence. Play the Plains. Well, let's get in with Snapcaster. I think we just got a Stony Silence. Because if our opponent draws Ad Nauseam, we're dead. So hit our opponent. Play Stony Silence. And our opponent scoops it up! Whoo! We got there. Oh my goodness, we got there. Okay, well, we kind of won. Alright, well, game 3. We have Stony Silence. Single most important card in our deck. Opponent has Leyline. I mean, Stony Silence is one of them, at least. Otherwise, this hand is not that exciting. Well, Polluted Delta, go. Shriekmaw, unlikely to do much here, other than Cascade eventually, maybe. Opponent gets Temple. Oh, dear. Oh, dear! That's bad. Now we're dead. Crack Polluted Delta. Breeding Pool. Tapped. Play Polluted Delta. Pass the turn. Yeah, that duress. That duress. Likely our death. Another Temple for our opponent. Opponent's just mono duress. Okay, I mean, Lightning Bolt or Lingering Souls. And a Sleight of Hand. We'll take Blood Crypt tapped. We do still have another Stony Silence in our deck. Maelstrom Nexus, well, Island go. Another Temple for our opponent. And passes. Wooded Foothills. Well, let's flashback our Lingering Souls. So next turn we get to Maelstrom Nexus. Alright, opponent passing. Well, crack this. I think we need Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Let's get in with our spirits. Play a Plains. White, blue. Oh man, if they can If they can whir for mana, we're probably dead. Maelstrom Nexus. Pass the turn. No whir, no whir, no. Alright, no whir. We're not dead yet. Phyrexian Unlife. Okay. We Muldrifter. Well, I think what we gotta do here is attack with both of our spirits. Then Lightning Bolt a spirit, because that gets us Ancestral. Actually, let's bolt ourselves. Our life total is not relevant. Cascade into Ancestral. Those cards are not super helpful. Well, I think we need to evoke a Muldrifter. Looking for Stony Silence or Abrupt Decay, primarily. Draw an Ancestral. Play Mana Confluence, pass the turn. Opponent's passing. Well, let's run out a Snapcaster. We get to Cascade. Hoping for our last Ancestral. Otherwise, it's going to be random, not very good stuff like discard. Opponent whirs. Gets their mana. Can they kill us now? I don't know what our opponent did, but something not good. Can't cast our Thoughtseize. Not flashing back anything. Well, we get a random spin. Ooh, Fulminator is actually pretty good. So let's attack with everything. Fulminator kills a land, and it's the right mana cost to hit Abrupt Decay or... Well, yeah, let's cast Fulminator or Stony Silence. Come on, Maelstrom Nexus! Give us some love! Come on, Nexus. Opponent packs the Fulminator. What do we hit? Abrupt Decay, Phyrexian Unlife. That works! That works! Thank you, Nexus. Suspend Ancestral. Play Flooded Strand. And pass the turn. Alright, opponent has to Angel's Grace to stay alive. Only 2 cards in hand. Opponent's passing. Well, crack Flooded Strand. Oh man, we are getting close to just spinning our way to this victory. Run out another Snapcaster. Spin the wheel. Come on, Ancestral. Off the top. Thoughtseize, not what we wanted. Okay. Ancestral, taken down. Temple Garden. Well, attack with everything. Spin the Happy Fun Times wheel. Ugh, these Thoughtseizes! Oh, well, at least we got all the Thoughtseizes out of the way. And we gotta destroy his spirit. Vivid Creek. We got lethal on board. Can our opponent kill us? Do they have the mana? I don't think they do. Are we gonna win? Opponent's passing. Runs out the Lab Maniac. We'd be happy with drawing any non-land. Ancestral, taken down. Oh, Kolaghan's Command. Well, I think we Kolaghan's Command. Get back Fulminator. Kill Lab Maniac. Cascade. Alright, we'll cast it. Cast Snapcaster. It doesn't really matter. We'll target Abrupt Decay. Attack with everything. Does our opponent have... Alright, there's the Angel's Grace. Opponent stays alive. So we... Black. Oh man, Fulminator. Blow up the white source. Watery Grave tapped. Pass the turn. Lethal on board. Opponent's only got 3 lands. Is this it? Opponent finds a land. And we got the GGs. Taking down Ad Nauseam. Alright, against the odds time. Playing some 5-color Nexus control in Modern. And, well, we got our colors. So that's good. Let's just start on Watery Grave, untapped, and Thoughtseize. Oh, goodness. Ooh, Vampire Cutthroat, eh? Burn, Cutthroat. Well, we'll take Giralf's Messenger, pass the turn. What is happening in this match? Swamp for our opponent. Vampire Cutthroat. Skulking around. Flooded Strand, go. Opponent has... Collector Brutality is pretty bad here. Drains us. Whiffs. Shriekmaw. Pretty dead. Down to 14. Down to 13 from Vampire Cutthroat of all things. Crack this. Get a Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Another Swamp for our opponent. Bump in the Night. Down to 9. Cutthroat puts us to 8. Foothills puts us to 7. Oh my goodness. Polluted Delta. Go. I think we're going to wait. I don't think we're just going to Wrath of Vampire Cutthroat here. Maybe we shouldn't have kept this hand. Opponent skulks in. Down to 6. Collective Brutality takes our Wrath. Oh my god. Well, Polluted Delta. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Suspend Ancestral. Play a tap land. We can't block with Shriekmaw anyway. We might just be dead here. Opponent hits us to 2. We're going to lose to Vampire Cutthroat. Come on, Thragtusk. Blood Crypt, tapped. I mean, we might as well cast a Shriekmaw. Not that it does anything. Wow, this hand is so awkward. Down to 1. We gotta draw something or we're dead. Visions. Jeez. Jesus, draw. And that does it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yep. Should have mulliganed. Well, I think things get better after we sideboard in 2 timely reinforcements. What are we going down? We have good things. Going down Shriekmaw for sure. Yeah, let's go down the discard. Let's run it like this. Speaking of hands we shouldn't keep. Alright. Well, we'll try this. Breeding Pool. Doesn't matter. We're going to shuffle it away, I think. Well, are we? Yeah. Flooded Strand, crack it. Get our island and relic. Pass the turn. Swamp for our opponent. Vampire Cutthroat, our nemesis. Blood Crypt, tapped. Pass the turn. We don't have mana for Anger yet, or Cryptic. Opponent Signs in Blood to draw some cards. And let's exile it. Opponent hits us. Play Godless Shrine, pass the turn. Swamp for our opponent. And Underworld Dreams. Okay. I have no idea what's happening, but I think we're losing. We draw a card, we lose a life. Play Polluted Delta. Pass the turn. Opponent Thought Seizes. Okay. Underworld Dreams. Oh my god. We're probably gonna lose because we have no idea what's going on. Opponent takes Anger. Thrall Parasite. This is roughly the weirdest thing I've ever seen anyone do in Modern. Goes attacking. Well, crack this. Because unfortunately, we don't have a way to get rid of this Underworld Dreams. Play Polluted Delta, pass the turn. So I think we just die to it. Collective Brutality. Madness. Oh my god. Oh, the jank is so real. Crack this. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Alright, let our opponent cast their stuff. Alms of the Vein. So I think we have to counter and tap and hope we draw timely reinforcements. So we're down to 3. We have to draw exactly timely, exactly this turn. It's a land, and that's the game. Well, that was oddly unfortunate. Alright, against the odds time. Playing some 5-color Nexus Control in Modern. And we'll try this. So, Polluted Delta, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest and passes. Well, crack Polluted Delta, get a Blood Crypt, tapped. And Windswept Teeth, go. Might just evoke Muldrifter next turn. Sun Petal Grove and Watchwolf. Well, let's get a Breeding Pool, tapped. Ooh, Cruel Ultimatum. Sweet. Well, evoke a Shriekmaw, kill the Watchwolf, tap land, and go. Sun Petal Grove, and more Watchwolves. Well, play the island, pass the turn, leave up our Cryptic. Muldrifter will be better if we can actually keep it on the battlefield. Down to 15. Well, let's just bounce Watchwolf, draw a card. Ooh, it's Nexus. Red, blue, white, green, black. Alright, well, Sacred Foundry, untapped. Actually, let's play this safe. Let's Ojitai, and then Nexus next turn. This gives us a good hexproof blocker. Opponent, Watchwolf again. Also, Quasali Pride Mage. Yeah, that's the downside of Nexus. We gotta get rid of this Pride Mage first. Godless Shrine. Well, let's cast this Muldrifter. Draw a couple cards. Godless Shrine tapped. And I think we're gonna get in with Ojitai. Opponent has Path. That's unfortunate. Take a Swamp. Pass the turn. Could use a Wrath. Also, if we get a 1-mana spell, opponent has Wilty Fleege. That's not ideal. Opponent gets in. We just don't have any way to kill this stuff at the moment. Snapcaster. Black, blue. Play Maelstrom Nexus. Man, I can't believe we have everything we need for Cruel except 1 black source. Cruel would be so good there. Well, that's our opponent got. Tax with everything. Well, come on, Nexus. Be good to us. Cascade, Path, Wiltleaf. Whew. Okay. Well, that keeps us alive. And, oh man, thank you, Nexus. We'll target Path, although we don't have the mana. Opponent Paths. We'll get our planes. Take our beating. Down to 4. Oh man. Renegade Rallier. Oh boy. Gets back Watchwolf. Sacks Pride Mage. We gotta draw something. Delta. Sacks a creature, discards 3, loses 5. We get Muldrifter to our hand. Well, play Polluted Delta, pass the turn, and we'll decide what to do. Here's decisions. Problem with Snapcaster Cryptic is then we can still just lose next turn. I think that's what we gotta do. Crack Delta. It gets us a draw. Watery Grave, untapped. Down to 1. Snapcaster Mage. Target Cryptic. Tap our opponent's stuff. Draw a card. Come on, good draw. Vivid Creek. Okay. Loxodon Smiter. And a Pride Mage. Fatal Push. So I think we have to mini Rev and hope we hit a Wrath. Rev X2, I think is all we can do. Yeah, I mean Rev X2. And that does it. Oh, lordy. Well, we get sideboard in a way that will be very good against our opponent's deck. Bring in as much removal as possible. Go down. Thought Seizes are not very good. And run it like that. We get to play first. And this hand's not horrible. We got removal. We got a Ancestral. Well, Polluted Delta. Crack it. Get Breeding Pool. Untapped. Suspend Ancestral. Pass the turn. Tap land for our opponent. Ancestral taken down. Vivid Creek. Go. Another tap land. And passes. Ancestral takes down. Godless Shrine. Untapped. Run a Lingering Souls out there. Ship the turn. Sun Petal Grove for our opponent. And Bad Rallier. No value, or no return. Well, let's just suspend another Ancestral, Flashback, Lingering Souls. And we'll pass. Another land for our opponent. There's a Smiter. Opponent passes. I think next turn we get Ancestral 1. Oh, this turn. Even better. We do want our land drops. Ancestral draws us some lands. Well, Watery Grave, tapped. Pass the turn, do some chump blocking. Now we just want a Nexus mostly. Another land for our opponent. Wilty Fleege. Well, I think we just chump Wrath here. Chump. Ancestral, Supreme Verdict, Hallowed Fountain, and pass the turn. And now we should be able to just 1-for-1, especially since we get Visions next turn. Flooded Strand, go. Come on, Nexus. Once we get a Nexus, we can just bolt and immediately recall again. Get a Sacred Foundry. Here comes Ancestral, number 2. Draw some cards. No Nexus. Cast a Muldrifter. Nexus? Not yet. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Discard Mana Confluence, Lightning Bolt, and Maelstrom Pulse. There's a Fleecemane Lion. Opponent passes. Well, play Ghost Quarter. Drift in a 4-2. Pass the turn. Let's Fatal Push. Probably have to Fatal Push twice. Fatal Push again. In response to the monstrousness. And a Watchwolf. Well, let's Snapcaster Fatal Push. Nexus. Overgrown Tomb. Alright, get in with our creatures. Well, we might just get the non-Nexus win here, since we're almost half of the way through our deck and haven't found a Nexus yet. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. Polluted Delta. Well, keep attacking. Opponent's down to 10. Oh man, opponent's flooding out. Polluted Delta, get a Blood Crypt, tapped. More lands. Well, I guess Nexus just wasn't meant to be in this game. Opponent pass. We get a island. Paths. Let's just bounce our Snapcaster and draw a card. Another land, really? Do we have lands left to get? Yeah, I guess 2. Temple Garden, pass the turn. Oh, Nexus, where are you? Opponent passes. Oh, well, that's good. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Crack, Flooded Strand. This should find us a Nexus. Sphinx's Rev X approximately 1 million. This actually might just make our opponent scoop. We're going to leave up 1 mana in case they have Mana Tithe, which doesn't seem completely impossible. Rev X9, and our opponent scoops it up. Whoo, sweet. Let's run it back. Ugh, so slow. On the draw. Well, I guess we... Alright, we're going to try it. We can evoke a Muldrifter, which is something. We're going to need to find a Wrath. Opponent has a Forest. Vivid Creek. Well, now if we can find any removal spell, it's going to be great. Watch Wolf for our opponent. More Nexus was not on our please let us draw list. Gets in with Watch Wolf. And Fleece Mane. Well, crack this. Get a Blood Crypt tapped. Ancestral Visions. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Well, Cataracts. Evoke a Muldrifter. Okay, that's better. Well, past the turn, we're going to have to discard a Nexus. Dropping to 10, but then we might be about to stabilize. Down to 10. Dryad Militant. And a Path. Well, it's Fatal Push the Militant. Temple Garden untapped. And Lingering Souls. They actually had Mana Tithe. Yikes. Are we dead? Opponent plays a tap land. Alright, I don't think we're just dead, but we are not in ideal shape at 2. Flashback Lingering Souls. Play a land. Pass the turn. Well, Path the Watch Wolf. Opponent finds a Smiter. Goes attacking. Well, let's block. Oh, we're so close to that. Well, I think we have to pass. Opponent goes attacking. So we... Opponent has Dramoka's command. So we... Snapcaster Mage for Fatal Push. Fatal Push, Fleece Mane. Fizzle Dramoka's command. Block the Smiter. Opponent passes. We draw a Path. Well, suspend Ancestral, pass the turn. Opponent goes attacking. Well, let's Path the Smiter. What do you got, opponent? There's the Liege. Ancestral ticks down. I mean, we can cast Ojutai, but then we just have to chump. Oh, Polluted Delta. Crack it. Get a Swamp. And I think we're dead. Play Ojutai. Oh man, that Mana Confluence, our singleton Mana Confluence, gonna make us lose this game. Opponent plays a land. Fires up Wildwood. Attacks with both. So block and block. Opponent has Watch Wolf. Got a top deck. And that doesn't do it. Wow. That's why you don't play Mana Confluence, I guess. Alright, against the odds time. 5-color Nexus control in Modern. Windswept Heath for our opponent. Oh god, Slippery Boggle. Alright, well, this is going to be fun. We do have Rasp, but those are our only meaningful cards. Opponent starts putting things on their Boggle, making a Rasp meaningless. Plays another Boggle. Gets in, 4-2. Thoughtseize is a good card, but not great at the moment. Thoughtseize, take the Umbra, pass the turn. Chaining together Cryptics can be helpful. Opponent, Ethereal Armor. Speeds up the clock a smidge. Gets in with the Dorks. Removal, not doing much. Crackwooded Foothills, get a Temple Garden, untapped. Lingering Souls, pass the turn. Goes to combat, attacks with both. Well, block and block. It's an odd attack. Still at 8. Opponent passes. Flashback Lingering Souls. Pass the turn. What do you got, opponent? Land. Definitely pathing our own spirit here. Gets in. So we block. Path our spirit. Get a land. I guess just an island for Cryptic, potentially. Opponent passes. Snapcaster. Well, I guess we just have to pass the turn. Yeah, I think we're losing the fight here. Opponent cracks. Gets a Plains. Pass our spirit. So get the Plains. We actually have Nexus mana for next turn. Another Boggle. And another Umbra. Opponent gets in for 5. So we gotta take it. Play Snapcaster. Flooded Strand. Yeah, I think we're dead. That means, yeah, we're dead. Oh boy. Well, against this deck, Abrupt Decay, Maelstrom Pulse come in, Fatal Pushes, gotta go down. We get to go up, I guess Timely, and definitely Inquisition, definitely Supreme Verdict. Our Rask can be good if we get to them. Shriekmaw, horrible. Fatal Pushes, also very bad. And I think we just play it like this. So we get to play first. Well, Overgrown Tomb, tapped, pass the turn. Tap land for our opponent. Come on, Thoughtseize off the top. Thoughtseize? It's a land. Well, Godless Shrine, tapped, pass the turn. Razor Verge they get for our opponent. And, ooh, Spirit Dancer. That's actually okay, because we can just Abrupt Decay that. And a Thoughtseize? Sweet. So Flooded Strand, crack it, get a Watery Grave, untapped, Thoughtseize our opponent, take the Boggle, and then Abrupt Decay the Spirit Dancer, pass the turn. Okay, opponent has no threats, and very few Boggles left in their deck. They draw another Spirit Dancer. Well, that means we probably just got a Snapcaster Abrupt Decay. Play Cataract, Snapcaster for Abrupt Decay, and Abrupt Decay the Spirit Dancer. Okay, I mean, I'm feeling good. Our opponent could still draw a Boggle off the top randomly, and that would be pretty devastating. Alright, no Boggle. Well, Sacred Foundry, untapped. Get in with Snapcaster. And we just got to get the fastest clock possible, so let's Thragtusk. Old Thrag Daddy. Up to 18. Pass turn. Opponent, trap land. And passes. And passes. Cryptic's not great. Get in with both. Put our opponent down to 11. Okay. Pass our Thragtusk. That's not the worst. Pass the turn. Come on, one time, no Boggle. Next turn we can have Cryptic. Alright, no Boggle. Opponent passes. Go attacking. Hit our opponent for 5. Play Coalition Relic. Pass the turn. Yeah, I think we're good now. Passes. Sweet. Well, I guess we could have added mana, but... Flooded Strand. Go attacking. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. So, run out Snapcaster. And... we got there. Oh, man. Alright, took down Boggles for a game at least. Yeah, I mean, I think this is our best setup. We'll try it. I think we got a mulligan. Oh, no. Keep mulliganing. Alright. Well, as far as 5-card hands go, I guess this isn't the absolute worst. Problem is, our opponent kept. Which means they have a Boggle. Which means we're in trouble. There's the Boggle. Watery Grave. Untapped. Inquisition. Take the Umbra. Pass the turn. Now our best bet is to make our Wraths relevant. Windswept Thief. Opponent cracks it. Gets a Plains. Rancor. Pumps up the power. Armor. Yep, that's a fast clock. Getting hit for 5. Opponent gets in. Polluted Delta. Pass the turn. This might just be straight up too slow on the draw. Oh, God. Well, now we're 100% dead. Yep. Well, Boggles for you. Alright, against the odds time, playing some 5-color Nexus control. And we'll keep this. This hand's actually pretty interesting. Alright, let's just Blood Crypt, untapped, Thoughtseize, down to 16. Oh, goodness. And let's just take Violent Outburst. Pass the turn. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Moto lets us keep our opponent's hand up. Keep track of what they have going on. Even delete the cards as it goes along. I don't think it used to do that. Woodland Cemetery. Sure. Well, Windswept Heath. Go. There's a mountain. Well, crack this. Get a Breeding Pool. Tapped. Play Confluence. Oh, the pain. Snapcaster Mage for Thoughtseize. Opponent cycles. Thoughtseize. Take the Violent Outburst. Pass the turn. So our opponent has no Cascaders in hand, which is good. Talk about against the odds. Against the odds, cast a Cryptic Command is kind of the sub-challenge of this deck with our mana. Opponent, yep. A Shriek Maws, our Snapcaster Mage. That's fine. We can Kolaghan's command it back if we need to. Plays a tap land. And passes. Ooh, Thragtusk. I do like Thragtusk. Pass the turn. Opponent has a Swamp. Well, let's crack Flooded Strand. Get a Hollowed Fountain. Tapped. Get back Snapcaster to our opponent. Polluted Delta. I want a Thragtusk, but going shields down is so risky. If they drew a Cascade spell, I guess we don't just lose because we have Supreme Verdict. Alright, talked ourselves into it. Get an island. Run out a Thragtusk. I mean, the other hand is we do want to actually have a threat and start killing our opponent and not give them as long to draw into their Cascade spells. So pass the turn. Hopefully nothing goes horribly wrong. Opponent cycles. Oh my god. Oh, that is the literal worst. Wow. Okay. Well, we're still alive thanks to our opponent's Shriek Maw. So opponent gets in, hits us to a super low life total. Down to 5. Architects of Will. Gonna rearrange the top of our deck. we draw planes, which actually isn't the worst. So let's attack with our beast. Play a planes, Supreme Verdict, pass the turn. Opponent finds a land. Just runs a Shriekmaw out there. We draw a Shriekmaw. Alright, let's pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. So Snapcaster Mage for Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command, get back Thragtusk, kill Shriekmaw. Cycles, cycles. Come on, not this turn, not this turn. Land, cycles. Not this turn. We can leave up Cryptic if we get to untap without the... Oh my god, opponent. Opponent draws it. Oh my goodness. Well, that's disappointing. Now I'm pretty sure we're dead. If our opponent had not hit it for one more turn, we draw land. Well, play the land, tapped, pass the turn. Now we got a Cryptic just to tap our opponent's team. And what live draws do we have? Snapcaster Mage, I think, is the primary one. So, tap draw. Tap draw. Come on, Snapcaster. We do get whatever card our opponent buried at the bottom. Fatal Push. Okay, we get one more. One more Maelstrom Nexus. And that doesn't do it. Yep. Alright. Whoo, boy. Whoo, boy. Yikes. I can't believe we lost that one. Well, we get 2 relics and an Inquisition. Go down Fatal Pushes, bring in another Supreme Verdict, go down the Lightning Bolt, run it like this. This hand, I don't know if this is good enough. We have lands, but nothing that actually interacts with our opponent's deck. I think we got a mulligan. Okay. Well, this isn't bad. Coalition Relic, I think's got to go to the bottom. So Flooded Strand, crack it, get a Watery Grave, untapped, and Inquisition. Take the Fairy, pass the turn. We would like to keep drawing lands to get to these Cryptics. Opponent plays a Swamp and passes. Well, suspend Ancestral, Sacred Foundry, untapped, play Relic, opponent cycles. Well, start the exiling, pass the turn. Come on, mana sources! These 2 Cryptics are great if we get to them. Opponent passes. There's a land. That's super good. Target our opponent with Relic, pass the turn. Opponent cycles, Mountain cycles. As long as we leave up a mana, we can always sack this Relic. Let's not crack and get a blue source out of our deck. Ancestral ticks down. Whoo! It's an island. Alright, game on. Game on, Living End. Now we have Cryptic mana up. There's a forest for our opponent. Crack this. Get a Breeding Pool. Tapped. Ancestral, one more turn to go. Yep, after this. Whew, then we get to refill our hand. Maybe find a Maelstrom Nexus. Okay, well, pass the turn. Path is actually pretty good since we have the graveyard shut down. Like this thing. Yeah, let's just path it now. Even if we draw the lands in Maelstrom Nexus, I think we probably have to leave Cryptic up, at least until we can also leave up Relic. So we get to draw some cards. Ancestral, recall time. Lands and Wraths. Well, play Mana Confluence, pass the turn. I mean, lands and Wraths aren't bad draws. Monstrous Carabid. Let's just counter draw. Another land. Exile the Carabid. Another land. Well, Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Twisted Abomination. Resolves. Crack this. Get a Godless Shrine. There's our Nexus. Alright, shields down for the Nexus. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Opponent hits us down to 8. We take it. Lost Legacy. I have no idea what our opponent names. Names Ancestral. Okay. Exile Lost Legacy. Crack Flooded Strand. Down to 7. Get a Hallowed Fountain, I guess. Think we need to Cascading Cataract. Damnation. We cascade, hopefully not into a creature. Oh, Coalition Relic's good. Cascade into Coalition Relic. Get rid of Twisted Abomination. Exile Twisted Abomination. Pass the turn. Monstrous Carabid. Well, charge up our Relic. Ooh, Murderous Cut, sweet. That's super sweet. Get a mana. Actually, let's just evoke a Muldrifter. I think that's fine. Evoke Muldrifter. Get to Cascade. That's not a great Cascade hit. So, Rev is at the bottom. We tried to minimize the number of bad Cascade hits, but there's still a couple. Land. Play Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. We have instant speed Murderous Cut to get rid of this Carabid. So, exile some lands, Cascade, kill Carabid. Lingering Souls isn't bad. That gives us something else we can cast next turn, too, to trigger Cascade, while still leaving up our mana. Sooner or later, we're going to find Cruel. Well, let's exile Carabid. Shriek Maw kills a spirit. Crack this. Do we have lands left? We do. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Charge up Coalition Relic. Another. Ooh, more Nexuses. And Nexus number 2. Cascade into. I think we are not going to Thoughtseize here. Another Nexus. Play the Swamp. Get in with our Spirit. And pass the turn. This is sketchy. I think we're just going to Cryptic, tap draw. Cascade 1. Another Thoughtseize. We're good at hitting those. Yeah, I guess we'll path it. Well, we're getting the Thoughtseizes out of the way. That's the good news. Another Shriek Maw. Kills our Spirit. We draw land. Let's Supreme Verdict. Cascade into Relic. Cascade into Snapcaster. Since we have 2 Cryptics, so target Cryptic, and then we can Cryptic, bounce Snapcaster, draw a card. Ooh, another Snapcaster is sweet. Play Polluted Delta. Look at this setup. Get rid of the Shriek Maw, pass the turn. Sooner or later, we're going to find our finishers and actually close out this game. Opponent has Curator of Mysteries. Yep. Charge up, Ghost Quarter, add a mana, Flashback Lingering Souls, double Cascade, path the Curator. Snapcaster. I guess we can look at their hand. Yeah, we'll cast it. Cast Snapcaster. Target Inquisition. Get our spirits. Inquisition our opponent. Oh, we have the machine set up. 2 Cyclers, Demonic Dread. Get rid of the Dread. Exile the Dread. Play Ghost Quarter. Pass the turn. Where's our Cruel? I just want a Cruel Ultimatum. That's all I want. Desert Ceradon. Well, crack this. Do we even have lands left? Cruel Dragonlord. Oh, man, we have so many good cards left. Charge counter. Untap. Thoughtseize. Get in with our spirits. Pass the turn. Pouncer. So let's Snapcaster. Cascade. Thoughtseize. No. Thoughtseize. No. Oh, that's getting annoying. Snapcaster comes down. We will path. Let our opponent go to combat. Opponent passes. Alright, we might as well path. Ceradon. Grave Titan, Ojitai, Cruel Ultimatum. We draw land. Play Polluted Delta. Get in with our spirits. Well, I guess we can win this way very slowly. Pass the turn. Oh my goodness. And our opponent scoops it up. Where's our finishers? Oh, alright. There we... Oh, man. If we went like one more turn, we would have found him. I think we run it back. Well, this hand is semi-nuts. We have both of our relics in our opening hand, which is kinda exactly what we want. Flooded Strand. Crack it. We're actually just going to suspend Ancestral, though. Get a Watery Grave untapped. Suspend Ancestral. Pass the turn. Opponent starts the cycling, plays a tap land, and passes. Ancestral ticking down. Well, suspend Ancestral number 2, Flooded Strand, crack it. Get a Plains, play Relic. Man, this hand is so sweet. We're going to draw so many cards, and we got a Relic, and we got another one our opponent doesn't know about. Opponent cycles. Hard to cycle through a Relic. Plays a Mountain, and passes. There's our Nexus, too. Good lord. Well, let's play conservatively. Let's just play Relic, exile, Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Next turn, we can Coalition Relic and still have mana up for our relics. There's a Woodland Cemetery. Well, let's exile. Crack Flooded Strand. Get a Breeding Pool. Tapped. Ancestral's taken down. Shriek Maw. Well, play Ghost Quarter. Play Coalition Relic. Pass the turn. Relic Tribal going on over here. I wonder if that's possible. I wonder if you could really be Relic Tribal. Opponent cycles. Well, you know what? I think we'll exile that from your graveyard. How long do we draw cards? Next turn, the drawing starts. Oh, lord. Oh, my lord. Opponent plays a Forest. Yup. We will charge up our Coalition Relic. And now the fun begins. Ancestral's ticking down. We get another one next turn. We get to draw 3. Not bad. Not bad. Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Get our island. Nexus. Oh, God. Oh, my God. If they play something, we can path into another ancestral and just draw all the cards. Combo. It's a combo. That's what we're trying to do. Play a creature. You can do it. That's an Archfiend. Yeah, I think we'll do it. So sweet. We'll path that. Well, you know what? Let's Ancestral Vision. Can never draw too many cards. Unfortunately, we're out of Ancestrals now. They're all gone. We get another Ancestral. Draw even more cards. That's a lot of discard. Okay. So, let's Thoughtseize. Take the Carabid. Exile Carabid. Play Mana Confluence. Inquisition. Take Fairy. Exile Fairy. And pass the turn. Come on, finisher. We just need one of our finishers. Any finisher will do. Opponent, Shriekmaws. Yep. Well, let's store up some mana for the harsh upstate New York winter. Blue, white, green, and black mana. Use that mana to cast a Nexus. Cascade into Lingering Souls, which we will also cast. Play Polluted Delta. And pass the turn. Things are looking good. Pretty good. Opponent goes to combat. I think we will just Snapcaster. Cascade into Path on Shriekmaw. With 2 Cascades, there's a pretty good shot we're going to hit a Path. Also, another Path, which we'll leave in our deck. Get the Snapcaster. We will target a Path, just in case our opponent plays something. Well, this has been utter domination by Maelstrom Nexus. Architects of Will. Going to set up our Cascades for us. Targets themselves. Well, we'll let it go. Path the Architect. Come on, Cruel, one time. Crack Polluted Delta down to 9. More Snapcasters. Hit our opponent to 16. Flashback Lingering Souls, if we can tap properly. Actually, you know what? I don't think we do that. Let's just play a tap land. Let's just pass. We know our opponent can Wrath at any time. Opponent, yep, gonna Wrath our board. Hits the Living End. Sure. Well, let's run a Snapcaster out there. Get some Cascades. Probably not gonna be good. And you know what? We'll Thoughtseize. Get rid of some of those Wraths. Take the instant speed one, Violent Outburst. And nothing left to hit? Okay. Well, I guess that's fine. We'll draw our finishers eventually. There's an Ojutai. So, Thoughtseize our opponent. Nothing to Cascade into. Get rid of Demonic Dread. Kolaghan's Command. Get back a Snapcaster. Make our opponent discard their last card. Too greedy. Let's Flashback Lingering Souls. Sack a Relic. Godless Shrine. Tapped. Pass the turn. Next turn we can Ojutai. Opponent finds Archfiend. That's actually kind of annoying here. Muldrifter's good, though. Let's first attack with everything. Opponent blocks. Evoke a Muldrifter. Rev, not good. Supreme Verdict we will cast. Exile the Archfiend. Draw a couple cards. Come on, Cruel Ultimatum! Grave Titan is a big threat. But I think we're just going to Dragon Lord Ojutai for now. Play the tap land, pass the turn. Opponent finds a Fairy. Sure. Well, let's attack. We also got to not run out of time. This game has gone super long. Get Cryptic. No running out of time. Nexus 3. Do some Cascading. I don't know what else we got to Cascade into. Don't want Supreme Verdict. Don't want Damnation. Well, apparently we have a lot of Wraths left to Cascade into. Pass the turn. Opponent has Ingot Chewer. I think we win here. So sack this to draw a card. Because we can Snapcaster. Actually, maybe we should Snapcaster now. I don't think we have any good 1-mana stuff left to hit. Snapcaster, Trip Cascade. Oh, we have a Path. Path that. Nothing left. Opponent's out of cards. Snapcaster lets us flash back the Path that we just hit. Path the Ingot Chewer, drop to 3. What a game! This deck, though. This deck is so sweet. Opponent's out of creatures. 7 power on the battlefield. Which means we can cast another Snapcaster, lethal, on board, triple Nexi. Opponent passes. We go to combat, swing with the crew, and Nexus, 5-color Nexus control. taking down Living End. Well, that hand was really good, but that was still super sweet. So what do we learn this week about 5-color Nexus control? And overall, we only get in 5 matches because some of them went super long. They also almost all went 3 games, but we finished off winning 2 of our 5 matches, which is 40%. As far as games, we won 6 of 14, which is like 42%. So about average, I guess, for an against the odds deck, 40-ish% across the board. So the weird thing about this was heading into our matches, I felt like we would be at our best against random creature decks because we have lots of removal, we have wraths, we have ways to get weird cascade value, so I felt like those would be our best matchups. I mean, we got a ton of 1-mana removal. It just seems so set up for that Snapcasters to flashback our fatal pushes and pass, but we actually lost to all the creature decks we played, and then also heading into the matches, I figured that combo would be our worst matchups because one of the downsides of the Cascade plan is we can't really play counters, even in our sideboard. We can squeeze in Cryptic because worst case, we Cascade into Cryptic, we can, I don't know, bounce a land and draw a card. So it's not a horrible Cascade, but we can't really play Remand and Negate and Mana Leak and stuff like that because if we Cascade into it, it's just a literal dead card, and that's one of the challenges of building Nexus, even though we don't really have a converted mana cost restriction like you see with Living End or some of the decks that are looking to cascade into a specific card, because it doesn't really work that way with Nexus. There's no real way of breaking the randomness. So even though we don't have that restriction, we still do have some restrictions as far as the types of cards in our deck, because we just want to play as few bad cascade hits as possible. So I thought combo would be our worst matchup, but we played 2 combo decks in Ad Nauseam and Living End, and those were the 2 matches that we won. So I have no idea. I still think that combo is probably not a great matchup and that creature decks are good matchups, but that's not how it worked out in the video, so you never know. It's a small sample size, but the deck was sweet. We got to do some sweet things. We had some cool synergies, some neat tricks, but unlike some against odds cards, it's hard to build a real combo or like specific synergy into the deck because I can't come up with any way to really control the variance on it. But I think we got to play a lot of sweet stuff. I think the 5-color control plan is actually pretty sweet. The matchups were just super weird, but I think that it was pretty fun, and I feel like we got to play a lot of cool stuff. We didn't get to see Cruel Ultimatum. We were super close one game, 1 mana source away, or colored mana source. Our colors didn't quite line up, but we got to do a lot of cool stuff, and we got to see some crazy cascade values. So when we live till turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, and can use our control elements to live, we do just generate a ton of value. We had some games where we had 2 or 3 Nexuses on the battlefield, and we cast a Snapcaster and just cascade, 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 and there were some cool tricks that didn't really come up because of the game situations, but for example, Snapcaster on our opponent's draw step to cascade into a Thoughtseize to break the timing restriction, and there's lots of cool things you can do once you have a Maelstrom Nexus out, but they're all just so random, so you never really know exactly what's going to happen. So I feel like this deck really embraced the randomness. We got a lot of 1-ofs, we got a lot of 2-ofs and 3-ofs, so there's a lot of excitement when we flip the Nexus, just not knowing what's going to come off the top of our deck and hoping, crossing our fingers that the right thing comes up. So I think it's pretty fun. I think it's cool. As far as being super competitive, I mean, 40% match win percentage obviously isn't super competitive, but it's interesting and fun, and I think Maelstrom Nexus is a super sweet card. The mana cost makes it really tricky. Being 5 mana and being 5 colors just really limits what it can go in. But if you untap with a Maelstrom Nexus, odds are pretty good that you're going to find a way to win the game, because the value you get from it twice a turn, because you can cast things at instant speed, is just almost insurmountable for a lot of decks. So overall, I'm happy with it. It was a lot of fun to play. So anyway, that's been our Against the Odds for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.